Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God is the sun, God is the sun, but God is the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator, all and all, and God needs us to shine His light. God needs us to shine His light, and God needs us to shine His light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me, yeah. Show me. Just use me, Lord. Use me, Lord. Show me what all that I must do. Yeah, yeah. All that I must do. Show me, show me, show me. Use me, God, use me. Oh, use me, Lord, use me. All that I must do. Show me what I should do.
Good morning, Unity. I'm Reverend John. I have the joy of serving as your senior minister, and I'd like to welcome you to our Sunday celebration service. Thank you for being here, all of those of you who are here in person and those online in our online community. Wherever you are in this very moment, know that you're in the right place at the right time right now. Yes? For those of you who are new to Unity, what we want you to know is that Unity is a global spiritual community welcoming people from all walks of life. People who are looking for a deeper experience of spirit, a greater sense of health, wholeness, and abundance. People looking for transformation and to do life better. We teach positive, practical spiritual principles that you can apply in your life every day to help you live a more joyful and abundant life. We're so blessed this morning to have with us Joe Angeles as our platform leader, Ron E. Beck on drums, Russell Norman on piano, and Margot LeDuc as our soloist. And so we will begin our service with our opening song. I'll invite you all to stand as Margot leads us.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice, a spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are a blessing. You are a blessing to the world. All right, here we go. I'm thankful. Are you thankful? Are you grateful? Right on. Here we go. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender. I trust in God. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender. I trust in God.
Good morning, Unity Palo Alto. I am Joe Angeles. It's amazing just to serve as your platform leader today. Welcome to all of you who are here in the sanctuary and all of you who are tuning in online and everyone who comes during the week online as well. And the cool thing about our worldwide movement is we have only 5 core principles that guide us on our spiritual path. First one, God is. There's only one presence and power active in the universe and in our lives, God, the good, the omnipotent. And this morning, actually I had a cool one for this God. I call it now Father, Mother, Love. I know it's used to be like Father, Mother, God. To me this morning, Father, Mother, Love. And this Father, Mother, Love, according to our second principle, is the substance and intelligence innate in every person and in all creation. So meaning you and I are already love, yes? And so these two statement of beings, like Reverend John said, we bring it into our consciousness first and foremost through our third principle, the law of mind action, which means thoughts and minds. Thoughts in our minds produce after their kind, meaning if we have thoughts and feelings of love, guess what we'll bring into the world? Love. Good job. And the most beautiful practice, I think, that we bring in that love is through our fourth principle, which is the practice of meditation and prayer. because these practices is what connects us to that creative, constructed power of divine love to work in us, through us, and us. So with our mind, with our hearts, then we go to our feet, because we just can't stay in the mind and the heart, yes? We gotta give it feet. That comes our fifth principle, which is as we practice love in our minds, in our hearts, then in our feet, guess what we bring out to the world? Love. So we express more of that divine love, and life gets better, yes? And then it's not only individual. We get to also have it collectively. That's why we get to express it in our vision statement that I invite you to affirm with me. Together, centered in God, we co-create a world that works for all. And so it is.
Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Speak what is true. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Speak what is true. 'Cause I am found, I am yours, I am loved, I'm made pure. I have a life, I can breathe, I am healed, I am free. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Speak what is true.
And now a reading from the Daily Word. Today's Daily Word is acceptance. I will read the affirmation and then I invite you to affirm it with me. I practice acceptance and find peace. Together, I practice acceptance and find peace. In the past, I have resisted unwelcome situations and unwanted outcomes. Over time, I have learned that my resistance did little more than leave me agitated and unhappy. I have learned to trade resistance for acceptance. Accepting situations as they are does not mean I like what's happening, but it does mean I am willing to be present to it without resistance or struggle. From that place, I am better able to work toward creating better conditions for myself and others. When I practice acceptance, I invite the presence of God to inspire and comfort me. I shift my attention from what might feel wrong to that which is always right, the absolute unchanging goodness of God. And from Philippians chapter 4, verse 11, not that I am referring to being in need, for I have learned to be content with whatever I have.
I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. I will never stop marching to reach
you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you. There is no distance that cannot be covered over and over. You're not defenseless. I'll be your shelter, I'll be your armor. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear you whisper, you've got nothing left. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you. Yes, I will rescue you.
Good morning, Unity Palo Alto. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you to our online community. Wherever you are, you're in the right place, and we are expressing that divine love. Yes? Yes. Well, we are in we're in the middle of Black History Month, and I asked Karen Friedman to say a few words for us in honor of Black History Month.
Thank you, Reverend John. When I read about the history of slavery in our country, it's hard. The cruelty, the inhumanity, the torture, the whippings. Slaves were whipped when they wanted to learn to read. It was horrific. And it was done by white people. And I'm white. So yes, guilt and shame. It's like, don't tell me about it, make it go away. I don't want to know. It's not my fault. And then I remembered to bring those experiences of guilt and shame into the light of love. And that's where my healing can begin. In the unity principles, I see my divinity and the divinity in others, calling on practices that are available to us, things like A Course in Miracles or the Q process that John teaches. I began to see my wholeness, and it was just this week John's been talking about the letting go, letting God. This last week on Ash Wednesday, it talks about letting go of shame. And I'll just read the little bit to you. I let go of shame. Shame comes from believing we are not enough and are unworthy of belonging. We make mistakes and then fall into the trap of shame and guilt. The more we do this, the more we believe we are separate from God and unworthy of our divine identity. And it also keeps us from feeling vulnerable and connecting with others at deeper levels. So rather than resisting Black history in our country, I'm now able to approach it with an open heart, knowing my own divinity and the divinity of all. I'm able to approach Black history with open eyes and an open heart. And I can fearlessly see my part. It was Milagros Phillips that is helping me understand that I'm socially conditioned. As a white person, I'm socially conditioned to want to feel special, to feel superior. And that in and of itself is perpetuating the harm of inequity. My conversations now are more honest and more heartfelt. I have been conditioned by family, I mentioned that already. And I still have racist thoughts. They come up. I have this conditioning. And now, when I share those thoughts with a person of color, I am met with gratitude. From that place, my truth, my honesty, I'm met with gratitude and not condemnation. And from that place of honesty, trust can begin to develop. From that place, I can also see what is clearly mine to do. And it can begin, a good beginning is compassion toward those who are still fearful, those that are still fearful. And seeing it with an open heart, I can be a far more effective agent of change. Some people don't realize that we humans share 99.6% of the genetic code. And they don't realize that race is a social construct that was used to justify slavery back in the 15th century out of Spain and Portugal. No, I'm not responsible for the past, but only for the presence going forward. Using our third principle, I don't see victims. I witness the intelligence, the resilience, the dignity and strength in my brothers and sisters of color. Ida B. Wells is quoted, "The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them." Black history only divides if my guilt, judgment, and shame are in play. I have nothing to lose, and we have so very much to gain. My growth is continuing, and I am grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Well, good morning. There is a call. There is a call within every person. And that call is to come and lift yourself up, to understand your wholeness, to understand your spiritual essence, to know that every person on the planet has this same essence and this same calling. Now, there's a calling within you and within all people, and that is a yearning for God's presence and power in yourself and to bring that into expression in your life. You are one with God. As Joe said earlier in the 5 principles, the 5 core principles, the first principle is God is. There is only one presence and one power active in our lives, God, the good, the omnipotence. You are in God and God is in you. God is in you like the ocean is in the wave. You may have heard me say this. This is an old Butterworth quote. God is in you like the ocean is in the wave. You're not separate from it. And more so, you are in God like the current is in the ocean. You are a part of it. You are flowing through it. There is no separation from us. And yet, all of our suffering comes from that idea that we're separate. We're separate as people. We're separate. We see ourselves separate in color, see ourselves separate in nationality, in language, in who we love, in how we love, in all of these different ways in which we separate ourselves from the allness that we are part of. And so today we have the opportunity to listen to that calling within us and to step forward into that call. Now, the challenge is, most of the time, we're looking outside of us for that answer, right? We feel that there's a pull within us. We feel that there's something within us, some beauty, something to come out, and yet we're looking for it in other people. We're looking for it in our loved ones and in our friends and family to bolster us up. And when they don't, when they're too self-absorbed, when of course they don't worship me, when they don't give me praise, when they don't say, good job, John, our tendency is we start to wither because we're looking for validation outside of us. But as Margot sang in that song, God is in here, always listening, always marching, always sending you that energy and that love. We are yearning for that, and it is there. And so really, all of those principles and practices that we talk about is aligning ourselves with that which already is. Aligning ourselves in our thoughts, our words, and our actions with that one presence and one power so that we can express that love in the world. And when we do that, everything else changes. We grow. We connect. We come together. We support one another. We help each other rise up. And it begins first as an intuition, that still small voice that I like to call the intuition. It may not have language, but there's this idea, this pull. And then it hits us in our heart. And we feel that love, that energy. And then we see it in the world. And it informs our ideas. Most of the time, we're trying to come at it from the other direction. We're trying to think about it first. We're trying to think about the idea of, well, I'm God's perfect child, God, and I love me just the way I am. So we're coming from that standpoint of, yes, but then also going on up there is that idea of shame and blame and guilt, that idea that I'm separate, that those ideas are forming in there, and they're competing with space in the landscape of our mind. And so when we come from the other direction, we first feel it. We feel it in our core. We feel that energy flowing through us. We sense it, and then we feel it in our heart, and we feel the love radiating from us. And sometimes we feel it as if we identify it as something like a cloak, something that's covering me, a warm hug. But however you experience it, whether it's around you, coming from within you, it's all true because it is all God. God is in you like the ocean is in the wave, and you are in God like the current is in the ocean, simply flowing with the current. And when we don't flow with the current, what happens? Yeah, it sucks. Sorry, was that not spiritual enough? We suffer. We suffer. We feel pain. We feel separation. We feel sadness and we feel struggle. Now, all of those things exist, but they don't become a part of who we are. We just recognize, oh, I'm struggling right now. Let me draw upon that inner wisdom. Let me draw upon that inner strength. Oh, I'm confused right now. I'm not heading in the right direction. Let me draw upon divine intelligence and infinite inspiration. Let me move in with the current, wherever the current is leading me, with an open heart. And then my mind, it doesn't have to worry about it so much. So we allow ourselves to be in that present moment and flowing. You know, when I was, I think it was either a junior or a senior in high school. It was one of those two. And I remember this because I was in an English class and we had to write an essay. And it was a personal essay about our lives, about something that happened to us. And the whole class wrote about it, and then the teacher picked 3 people to speak about it. And I was one of those 3. And I was the third one to go, and the first 2 were all these really deep, emotional, stories about their lives and the struggles that they went through. And I didn't feel comfortable reading mine, because mine was about my experience of God. And it wasn't religious. It wasn't saying that, this is the way you needed to think about it, or these are the things you needed to do. But what I did was, we used to have this property. My parents lived in Oakhurst, California, for many years. And we bought this property, and we built this giant house on the property as a family together. And this house sit kind of 3/4 of the way up on the hill in this valley. And at the very point of the property, there was a rock. It sat about this tall in the ground. We called it the sit-upon rock because it was perfect to go out there and sit and meditate. So here we are in Oakhurst, California, and it's in the autumn. And so I decided one autumn morning, I'm going to go out and I'm going to meditate on the rock. So I went out to sit upon rock. And as I'm sitting there meditating, I let go of all of those teenage, high school fears and concerns. You remember those? Some of us still have them. I let go, and I let God. I let go of the fear. I let go of the resentment. I let go of what papers I had to do. I just let go and was in the moment. And when I was in the moment, I was one with God. I didn't hear a voice. I was just in the presence. It was a feeling that came over me. It was a heart experience. I felt myself lifted up. And intuitively, I heard the calling. Intuitively, I heard the calling that said, come up. And so in that presence, in this crisp autumn morning, when I opened my eyes, now I looked over the valley. And here in this area, we had a little smattering of pine trees. We had some ponderosa and some Jeffrey pine kind of sprinkled out there, but most of it was oak. We had valley oak, we had blue oak, we had different varieties of oak, big leaves, small leaves. There was buckeye, and I don't know if you've ever seen buckeye in the autumn. Brilliant colors. There were clouds in the sky. It was cool and crisp. There was sun beaming through the clouds, and I opened my eyes and experienced life anew. I saw the colors more vibrantly than before. I saw the energy floating off of every tree. I looked upon the scene and felt that instant oneness with all of life. And felt it. And sensed it. And that intuition said, you are one. You are whole spiritually. Regardless of what's happening around you in this body, in our experiences in life, in this moment, you are one. And so I breathed into that moment, and I wrote my essay that described that. And I was afraid because I got back to my high school ways, my teenage boy ways. How was I to read this, especially after what was just read? And I remember this to this day. I felt fear and shame, not good enough. And then I felt worse because I read it because I had to. The teacher was like, no, you're going to read it. Do I have? Yes, we're waiting. The whole class is waiting. So finally I kind of read through it, and not in an uplifting way. And the class is like, okay, done. And we got let out. But what a gift she gave me by saying, yes, you're going to read this. Yes, you need to follow this voice within you. You need to express this. Follow that inner yearning of your heart. So let's take a nice deep breath in this moment and just allow that sense of what is yearning within you to come up. Because it will come out in multiple ways. Perhaps you need to tell your transformation story, as Karen did today. Perhaps you need to, do something at work or bring this to life, or start volunteering more, or do something in your life that brings you that joy, that lifts you up. Whatever it is, each one of you will have something to bring to the world that's magnificent, and you are here to bring it. You're here to express that into the world. Now, today we're going to celebrate one of those paths. And it is the path of someone who's called to ministry like I was. Someone who was called to ministry and started with becoming a licensed Unity teacher like I did. And someone who is just beginning her journey. And I'd like to invite her up now to share a little bit about her journey and her call. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jo Angeles.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, my story about my own calling. My own calling actually to become a licensed Unity teacher came about, I think, August or September of 2014. And I was taking John's class. It was the 4 spiritual laws of prosperity. And the last class, or the one of the fourth spiritual law was discover your life purpose. And as a good student that I was, I asked Spirit, I said, Spirit, what is my life purpose? Immediately, not even 10 seconds. Licensed Unity Minister, Philippines. I'm like, you're kidding, right? How many of you have had that kind of calling? And said the same thing. And I said, are you sure? And then it said again, Licensed Unity Minister, Philippines. I said, okay, Spirit, I'll give you 72 hours and see if that is still the calling you have for me. Then I told Henry about it. I said, guess what my calling is? And he said, I already knew that. I'm like, how did you know? I don't know. I just know that's your calling. And I said, I'm giving Spirit 72 hours to change its mind. 72 hours came Thursday. It was firm as it was as I heard it on Monday. I said, okay, Spirit is kind of like that rock that John was referring to, not budging. It was still the same. Licensed Unity Minister, Philippines. I was like, so I said, okay, God, I guess that's it, right? And at that moment, any calling, we always have a choice with the calling. We can either say no or we can either say yes, right? And in my case, it's like, okay, Spirit's not budging. It's up to me. So I said yes. Okay, Spirit, I'm saying yes. What now? Because I have no idea what it means to be a licensed Unity. I mean, I was just, I think, beginning to just take classes at Unity. I think I took 5 principles at that point, and I'm like, okay, what does this mean? How many? What does it mean? And the one thing that stood out to me now in hindsight, 9.5 years later, I woke up this morning. Jo, God does not call the equipped. God equips the calling. I was like, whoa, that is so true. Any calling that, because I have no idea whatsoever. And all I knew at that point was to ask, prayer. Prayer was my biggest tool. God, what now? What's the next step? What's mine to do? And answers come. People come. Resources come. And I remember the scripture from Isaiah chapter 30, verse 21, where it says that you will hear behind your ears that whenever you look to the left or whenever you look to the right, there's a voice saying, this is the way, walk in it. And even the verse that came before that it says, your teachers are hidden no more. Your teacher within you will already tell you what to do. So like it says that the teacher appears when the student is ready. So I was that ready student, and the teachers appeared in many, many ways. And one of the biggest thing for me in my LUT journey, my licensed Unity journey, is that the other one that Spirit taught me, that it takes a village, you've heard of this before, to raise a child. And I'm here to tell you, it takes a village to raise a licensed Unity teacher. It does, and I know Reverend John can say that. Casey, whom I see in the back, we all can attest. None of us will be here without all, that's the equipping that God has given us. The resources, the time, the energy, the money, the papers. We had a lot of them, and Henry can tell you how many times I've told him, babe, can you do my papers? And he says, no. I cannot do the amount of self-awareness work you have to do. That in of itself is a calling, guys. And so I think for me, those are the two main things. And I know there's more to do that. And I would love to end, I think, this equipping, the equipment or the resources that God has given me through gratitude. Because I won't be here, first and foremost, without all these people. And I know the number one for me is Reverend Karen Bradley. Reverend Karen is the one who taught me that ministers can be vulnerable. Ministers can be authentic. And that's the authority right there. And then I have two mastermind people who let me go through this, Leona Guthrie and Sharon Preston. Those two taught me to be resource rich, that we are resource rich, that you can be 75 and you can play and you can learn. And I'm like, I'm at the right path. And then let me just make sure that because I wrote them down. And then to me, the other one, the Unity Philippines, the one that I'm being called to. Actually, I met them in 2017 when I came home, and I have met them online. And Reverend Florence has been one of my inspirations as well, who taught me that God, it is God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom, and so we can dream big. She even has a book about that now. And then my good friend May, who taught me to foray into metaphysics. The platform team, you guys inspire me. Today, actually, I did not use any notes in my first. Woohoo! That's a goal, so thank you for that. And of course, my prayer chaplain team. Karen, you're the Firebird. I refer to you as that. That's my note for her. I'm not going to tell her age, but she's off to many things, and it's inspiring for me. Sarah Ann, I refer to her as my loving sage. She inspires me with so much wisdom and trivia. And she's not here today. Sarah Ann is here. That's my loving sage right there. And by the way, these are the two who mentored me when we were establishing the Prayer Chaplains program last year. They were my arms. And then I think Linda, who's not here, my muse. And of course, my LUT cohort, and then of course, Reverend John Riley. John has been there from the very beginning, been my mentor, my confidant, who, and the number one thing I learned from John, the 3 Ps, pause, pray, proceed. The importance of going within, because we go within, we go without, that the answers are already within us. And of course, my hubby, Henry, you're my home base. And thank you for giving me the wings to fly, because I wouldn't be here for not that. My mother-in-law who's here, Mom, thank you so much for being the best mother-in-law anyone can have. And of course, you guys, Unity Palo Alto, every smile, every encouragement, every hug, every stories, every donation, every prayer, even I think Carrie who cuts, and I think Sue who watered the plants and who cut the plants, all of that. So as I get my certificate today, while it has my name, it has your name too, because that certificate is you. So thank you so much for raising me to be the licensed Unity teacher that I have come here to be. Thank you.
"72 hours, can you imagine that? I gave God 25 years. Come on up. Yeah. When you have the calling's there. Whatever it is that you want to, whatever your heart's calling you to do, the calling doesn't go away. So just honor it and say yes when you're ready to say yes. So Joe, Casey is with me. Casey is our other, okay, stop. Casey is our other licensed Unity teacher. Come on over here. And I wanted her to be up here as well as we together are going to install Joe as a licensed Unity teacher. Why don't you stand in the middle? So Joe, you are here, and one of the things that she mentioned is the prayer chaplain program. We wouldn't have a prayer chaplain program today if it wasn't for Joe and working through it as a practicum. She is a member of our platform team, as well as as now joining our ministerial team. And she has supported our community in so many ways over the years, as a teacher, as a facilitator, as a loving presence, as giving talks. And so we're looking for just experiencing more of that. So as you come to the end of this journey of saying yes to the call and taking your first step as becoming a licensed Unity teacher candidate and going through the hours and hours and hours of work and classes, it's not that. So if you're thinking about it, it's not that many hours. But Joe also takes classes beyond that because she is always learning, always growing, always becoming. And so today, Joe Angeles, we ask you, are you willing to do the best to your ability, to dedicate yourself to seeking and applying truth principles in your life as you can? If so, say, I am.
I am.
Are you willing to practice self-care and maintaining balance in your life?
I am.
Are you willing to practice self-care and maintaining balance in your life?
I am.
That's how important it is.
It is.
Will you hold Unity leaders in esteem and in respectful regard?
I am.
And are you willing to serve our spiritual community as a leader by holding confidentiality, seeing the divine potential in all people, and shining your light?
I am.
Joe, in this moment, I recognize the divine light within you. I see you shining as love, light, wisdom, intelligence, zeal, enthusiasm. I anoint you, and I appoint you as a licensed Unity teacher for Unity Palo Alto. And so it is.
So it is.
Stay up here, Casey. This is your official certificate. Congratulations. Wait. So congregation, would you please all stand as we bless Joe? I think you know, hopefully you know. Joe, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the light in you. And so it is.
Oh, man, that's good.
That's all yours. I let go of fear. I let go of resistance. If you'd like to join me on this journey of Lent, every morning, Monday through Saturday, there's a new Lent video of letting go and letting God. It's short. It's about 2 minutes. You can find it on our website, unitypaloalto.org. Letting go of the fear, the resentment, the sorrow, letting go of the resistance, the doubt, and let God, that divine energy in you, shine. Would you show our affirmation, please, Ethan? I'm going to read our affirmation and invite you to take it into your heart and allow your heart to say it with me. I'll say it first. Letting go of fear and resistance, I say yes to the calling of my heart. Together, letting go of fear and resistance, I say yes to the calling of my heart. And so it is. Let's take this prayer into our time of meditation and affirmative prayer. I invite you to take a nice, deep, cleansing breath and close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or simply soften your gaze. As we begin to tune out the outer experience of life so that we can tune in to that ever-present, indwelling presence, power, love, energy of Spirit. Breathing into this present moment, I let go, releasing all fear, all anxiety, all doubt, giving it over to that one presence and one power. Breathing into this present moment, I draw upon that infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom. Breathing in, I draw upon wisdom. Feel that intuition. Know that I am guided in this moment. Breathing out, I say yes. Breathing in, I draw upon divine love, the harmonizing energy of Spirit that flows in, through, and as me now. That energy flows through every cell in my body, and each cell knows its perfect work. That energy flows through every thought, and every thought becomes aligned to the one presence and one power. I breathe in divine love, and as I breathe out, I send that harmonizing energy out into the world. I breathe in divine inspiration and infinite intelligence. I open my mind to creativity, and I simply ask, what is mine to do next? With each breath, I move deeper into the stillness, into the silence. Breathing into this harmony, this wisdom, this love. In this highest state of consciousness, I affirm I am one with the infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom. Divine love, divine intelligence flows through me, and I express it into the world, for I am here to be that shining light in my own unique and special way. As we breathe, we send this energy out into the world. We hold all of the prayers in our prayer chest in our hearts. If there's somebody who you hold in prayer, I invite you to say their name out loud now or bring their name to mind. As we breathe, we send this loving, harmonizing energy out into the world, blessing each other, blessing all of those who have yet to discover unity, blessing our friends and family, sending this energy around the world, blessing all of humanity. And in this moment, this love, God's love, uplifts, blesses, inspires the whole. And for this truth, for this energy within us, for this comfort together, we celebrate by singing the Alleluia. And with a nice, deep, cleansing breath, we return our attention to this time, to this space, allowing and knowing that energy of love is flowing freely in this very moment. You are one with the infinite flow of life, love, and wisdom. You are here to experience and express that oneness in all that you do. Our purpose statement here, our evolutionary purpose statement, is that we are here to transform lives and to inspire people to make a positive difference in the world. And you are the positive difference in the world. Yes? There are so many ways in which you can support our spiritual community. We thrive because of our financial support, our support in spirit, our support in love. There are many ways in which you can give to us. If you'd like to make a donation in the sanctuary, there's a box in the front that says Love Offering and a silver box in the back that says Love Offering. Or you can give online, but however you give with love. For it's the manner in which we give to the world that we receive from the world. When we allow that loving, harmonizing energy to flow, we are in the flow of God. The affirmation that we say is on the screen, and I invite you to affirm it with me together. Divine love from me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
I need you, you need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me, agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is His will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. You are important to me. I need you to survive. I pray for you, you pray for me. I love you, I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth. I love you, I need you to survive. I pray for you, you pray for me. I love you, I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth, 'cause I love you, I need you to survive. I pray for you, you pray for me. I love you, I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth. I love you, I need you to survive. I pray for you, you pray for me, 'cause I love you, I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth. I love you, I need you to survive.
Thank you, Margot. Thank you, music team. Thank you, Russell. Thank you, Ronnie. Yay. Thank you, Reverend John. And thanks to all of you for being here. And now we have that opportunity to bless each other. So actually, I'm going to invite you to stand up. Take a quick glance of the screen on top of me if you don't know the words. And then warm up your hands, face the center aisle. And we say to each other, I love you, I bless you, I appreciate you, and I behold the light in you. And so it is. And so have a seat. I'm going to have a couple of announcements. First one, next week is our hold on one second. Next week is our fourth Sunday of the month, so it's our monthly Bring Your Own Lunch Brunch, and it's actually facilitated by our lovely June Riley right here. Yoo-hoo! So it's going to be after the service itself, and it's actually fun. You have, because besides eating together, you actually get to have questions with each other in a more meaningful and purposeful way. And I know she rotates them all, so you're not going to be in the same table all at the same time. And then also on next Sunday, we are going to have our annual meeting. This is when we get to know how our budget is. Our board of trustees is going to be there. I think we also get to vote. We have stuff. How is our center doing, and what's in for 2024? So that's going to be here at 11:30 in the sanctuary. I'm not yet sure if it's going to be also on Zoom, but so far it's going to be here. And then now I also would like to ask our prayer chaplains to stand up. So we have Karen over here, and we have Sarah Ann over there. Thank you so much for holding our community in prayer. So if you need prayer after service, if you have any gratitude or celebrations that you want to celebrate, do go to one of them. They're there to listen and pray from their hearts. And then now I would like to invite all of you to stand as we sing our song of peace.
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Love and blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week.